Hello. I currently reside in Sale East, Gippsland, Victoria. As you may or may not know, my region was recently affected by the bushfires over Christmas, New Year's 2019-2020. It's only been approximately 14 weeks since the bushfires erupted and destroyed most of the region's vegetation. So you can see on the map provided, and there's Sale. Even though the town that I live in was not affected by the fires, the town was overcome by smoke that was produced due to the bushfires. As you can imagine, there was many days where there was a smoke haze over our little town. In addition to being a resident being affected by the smoke haze, I am the OH&S specialist at the local prison. Yes, I said OH&S, not WHS. Victorian legislation is different to legislation used across most of Australia. Why? I don't know. Yes, I do enjoy explaining the difference, and yes, I do bore many people with this superfluous information. Due to my chosen career path, I was intrigued by the possibilities of the smoke haze affecting staff, contractors and prisoners. Then, I was made aware that a few staff were unable to breathe properly or conduct duties due to the smoke, and contractors were even sent home. Thanks to this subject, I was able to learn that this smoke haze is in fact a particulate matter, and it actually had the ability to affect the populated areas. As someone new to the concept of particulate matter, I had to research this concept thoroughly to gain an understanding. From my understanding, after reviewing the Australian Government Department of Agriculture, Water and Environment, the New South Wales Government Department of Health and the Environmental Protection Authority, EPA, Victoria, explanations of particulate matter, also known as PM. The PM is the term used for tiny particles found in the air. These particulates are formed in the atmosphere due to chemical reactions between pollutants. These particles can include liquid, dust, and/or smoke, along with other things. Some particulates are large enough to see, and others are so small that they can only be seen by using a microscope. These particles can be formed organically or non-organically. The most commonly used PM terms are PM10 and PM2.5. PM10, as you can see, is particulate matter which is 10 micrometers or less in diameter, and PM2.5 is particulate matter 2.5 micrometers or less in diameter. As displayed, you'll see a diagram of a hair versus the size of PM10 and the size of PM2.5. The World Health Organization, WHO, is an international organization that started on the 7th of April 1948, and it is primarily focused to direct and coordinate international health within the United Nations system. The WHO also provides different assessment tools, to document the different hazards or risks that can or do impact human health. The type of assessment tool I'll be using today is the Health Impact Assessment, also known as HIA. Today, I'll be using the scoping, appraisal, and reporting elements of the HIA procedure to identify the hazards, which is smoke haze or PM2.5, and the potential outcomes. I will conduct an in-depth assessment of the interrelationships of the smoke and potential health outcomes, and then provide recommendations to remove or provide mitigations to the negative impacts to human health. The hazard being discussed is smoke haze, caused by bushfires, or particulate matter 2.5. According to the EPA Victoria, health implications include, but aren't limited to, wheezing, coughing, chest tightness, difficulty breathing, eyes, nose and throat irritation, and congestion. The people most at risk are people who are sensitive to air pollution, those with health conditions, pregnant women, young children, and the elderly. As I said earlier, I live in a small town called Sale in East Gippsland, and according to the 2006 statistics, Sale had a population of approximately 14,000 people. Over 4,000 of these people are of the age of 60, and over 1,600 are children. So during the bushfires over Christmas and New Year's of 2019-2020, over 1/3 of the population was at risk of having health implications and would have had health implications during this time. Not only can PM2.5 cause significant irritants, the smoke haze also reduces the visibility. During this time, drivers potentially were experiencing limited vision when driving, and the potential to have a car accident was significantly increased during this time. It would be so easy to focus on the physical health effects without thinking about the mental health effects. Any traumatic event can have huge and long-lasting implications on anyone's mental health. This smoke haze could have triggered people to suffer post-traumatic stress disorder. Faye Johnson from Menzies Research Institute in Hobart, Tasmania, noted that long-term effects of bushfires and smoke haze, which included but aren't limited to people suffering from hypertension, gastrointestinal disorder, diabetes, and mental illness, and young children even experienced higher levels of PTSD. So according to all this data that's been collected, the whole population of Sale was potentially affected, mentally or physically, in the short, medium, and or long term after experiencing and living through the smoke haze during the bushfires of over Christmas 2019-2020. Even though this is a minor change to the weather, it has potential to affect the whole town. So after highlighting the short, medium, long-term physical and mental health implications that could occur after being exposed to smoke haze, it is time to discuss the mitigations and recommendations to remove the negative impacts on human health after being exposed to smoke haze. First and foremost, anyone even remotely affected to smoke haze needs to look after their mental health. Even though it may not seem like a traumatic event, everyone responds to events differently. However, as we are learning, people need to put more energy and care into their mental health. Regardless if you think your mental health has or hasn't been affected, it is beneficial to do regular checks on your mental health. According to the EPA Victoria, during the smoke haze, it is beneficial that people keep their windows closed, switch the air conditioning to recirculate, take a break from the smoking conditions, watch and monitor children, older people, and people at risk. Keep pets inside with clean water and food. You do have to venture outside, either wear a face mask or a P2 mask, but make sure you understand how to use it before you use it. Also, reduce the amount of physical activity and follow and maintain your treatment plans if you have a heart, lung, or asthma conditions. And if you're worried about your symptoms, see your doctor or call emergency services if you're experiencing tight chest symptoms or difficulty breathing. Once the smoke is cleared, air out your house. Don't use water from your rain tank for drinking if it looks, tastes, or smells unusual, and check and review the EAP AirWatch website and or apps. It is also recommended by the ABC Health and Wellbeing, if the smoke continues for some weeks and a person or persons' health becomes a high risk because of the smoke exposure, remove them from the area and make them consider staying with friends or family outside the smoke-affected location. In conclusion, it would be highly recommended to treat smoke haze like a traumatic event, especially if you aren't affected physically. It is very important to protect yourself and family from the exposure of smoke haze, but it's even especially important to regularly check the EAP AirWatch website and download and review emergency apps to keep updated with large events occurring in your area, and check and maintain your mental and physical health. Any questions?